Lapor upacara wisuda dan pelepasan perwira transportasi laut, program diploma 3 dan non-diploma, serta diklat peningkatan tingkat 3, 4, dan 5 Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong, Selasa 7 November 2023. Siap!
Kerjakan!
Kerjakan!
Hadirin yang berbahagia, sebagaimana kita ketahui, lebih dari 80% perdagangan dunia diangkut melalui laut, diangkut menggunakan kapal. Lebih dari 50.000 kapal yang saat ini beroperasi secara global, dan hampir 2 juta pelaut yang bekerja melayani kapal-kapal tersebut. Namun pada saat yang bersamaan, kapal-kapal tersebut juga menghasilkan miliaran ton CO2 atau karbon dioksida di atmosfer. Selain itu, industri kapal juga menghasilkan emisi CO2 terbesar secara global. Oleh karena itu, sebagai komunitas transportasi laut, kita harus terus berperan di dalam mengurangi dampak dari emisi gas buang yang saat ini menjadi fokus dan concern seluruh dunia karena pemanasan global. Dan saat ini kita memasuki era yang kita sebut sebagai Super Smart Society atau CCT 5.0, di mana merupakan sistem sosial ekonomi yang inklusif, yang berkelanjutan, didukung oleh teknologi digital seperti analitik, big data, kecerdasan buatan atau artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, dan robot. Hal ini menjadi tantangan ke depan bagi pelaut di dalam transisi pelayaran otonom atau yang kita kenal sebagai Maritime Autonomous Surface Ships, di mana beberapa hal penting harus kita pertimbangkan dan kita siapkan mulai sekarang, termasuk keterampilan, kompetensi, dan karakteristik pelaut di masa depan. Mampu mengidentifikasi konten dan fasilitas pelatihan, keterampilan pelatih dan tenaga pendidik di lembaga pendidikan dan pelatihan maritim di masa yang akan datang. Saya berharap saudara-saudari yang hari ini dilantik menjadi perwira transportasi laut mampu berpenampilan prima, profesional, dan beretika, serta terus mengembangkan diri di dalam menghadapi pesatnya perkembangan teknologi, sehingga para wisudawan mampu berkompetisi, beradaptasi, berinovasi, berkolaborasi, berintegritas, dan memiliki standar global serta multitasking. Akhirnya saya ucapkan selamat atas wisuda saudara-saudari yang telah menjadi perwira transportasi pada hari ini. Kami lepas saudara-saudari. Selamat bekerja, selamat berkarya. Gelurakan terus semangatmu, arungi samudera, gapai cita-citamu, dan harumkan nama Indonesia.
Kami mau supaya anak kami ke depannya itu menjadi orang yang berguna bagi bangsa dan negara, dan juga bagi keluarga kami. Jadi kami bangga punya anak bisa selesai di Poltekpel Sorong, bisa selesai dengan baik. Nah, itulah kebanggaan dari kami orang tua. dan duka yang dia alami di dalam menempuh pelajaran, tapi semuanya itu berjalan dengan baik. Dan saya juga bersyukur dia bisa diwisudakan juga dengan baik, dan kami juga terima kasih kepada semua guru yang ada di Poltekpel Sorong dalam hal ini sudah membina anak kami, sehingga kelak nanti kami percaya bahwa dia akan menjadi seorang pemimpin di kapal.
Ucapan selamat dan terima kasih atas kerja kerasnya selama ini, dengan harapan agar saudara tidak cepat berpuas diri, tetap melakukan upaya-upaya untuk meningkatkan pelayanan dan tata kelola kita untuk menghasilkan usaha yang berkualitas dan profesional.
Pengembangan sumber daya manusia menjadi prioritas pemerintah dalam pembangunan sumber daya manusia terampil untuk meningkatkan kinerja dan produktivitas. Semakin meningkatnya persaingan di dunia kemaritiman menjadikan Kementerian Perhubungan memiliki tantangan SDM yang besar untuk menyediakan pelaut terampil dan profesional untuk mendukung dunia usaha dan industri 4.0. Kementerian Perhubungan mendirikan Polteknik Pelayaran Sorong sebagai bentuk tindak lanjut arahan Presiden untuk meningkatkan pendidikan kemaritiman, khususnya daerah timur Indonesia, yang diharapkan dapat menghasilkan pelaut yang berintegritas, beretika, profesional, dan standar global. Polteknik Pelayaran Sorong merupakan perguruan tinggi negeri di bawah Kementerian Perhubungan melalui Badan Pengembangan Sumber Daya Manusia atau BPSDM.
Saya selaku direktur mengajak putra terbaik untuk bergabung bersama kami di Poltekpel Sorong, perguruan tinggi vokasi di bawah Badan Pengembangan Sumber Daya Manusia Perhubungan Republik Indonesia yang mengajarkan sumber daya manusia di transportasi laut yang profesional, beretika, berintegritas, dan berstandar global.
Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong merupakan salah satu bentuk terobosan Kementerian Perhubungan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan kemaritiman global terhadap tenaga pelaut terampil dalam menghadapi tantangan nasional dan tantangan global. Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong memiliki fokus pendidikan kemaritiman dan dirancang dengan 3 program studi, di antaranya studi nautika, persinan kapal, manajemen transportasi laut, Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong dirancang menjadi politeknik yang unggul dan bertaraf internasional, yang mampu mencetak pelaut yang handal dan terampil melalui penekanan pada kemampuan praktek 60% dan pengetahuan teori 40%. Diharapkan lulusan Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong mampu menjadi perwira ahli navigasi, mampu mengatur muatan dan personil di atas kapal, ahli dalam pengoperasian sistem dan perbaikan mesin di atas kapal, serta menjadi transportasi laut bidang bisnis pelayaran.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes, we are going to start. Please stand by. Thank you. The Honorable Dr. Jaro Triwardono, STMT, as the Head of Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency. The Honorable Captain Dodi Kwidarbowo, MTMR, Director of Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic. The Honorable all leadership teams of Sorong Marine Merchant Polytechnic Sorong. Dwi Haryanto MM as a Vice Director 1, Yuniar Ayu Hafita MPD as a Vice Director 2, Muhammad Idris SSET MT as a Vice Director 3, Ahmad Hamir SMN MRE as a Head of Academic and Cadet Administration Divisions, and Shahrir Rashid SSE MM CRA CRP as the Head of Finance and General Affairs. We also have incredible all keynote speakers here. The first is Dr. Captain Wisnu Handoko MSc as a Secretary of Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency. The second one, Bob Castellane, PhD, Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences. And the last, not the least, Captain Angga Lutfi Aldrianto, SST PEL MM, as the Indonesian National Ship Owners Association. And all distinguished guests and all participants, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to the international webinar organized by Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic in celebration of its 18th anniversary, with the theme Empowering Maritime Human Resources in the Digital Era, Embracing the Future of Shipping Through Technology and Artificial Intelligence. This event is taking place on 30 June 2025 in Kota Sorong, Papua Barat Daya. My name is Hasanuddin, your host of today's event. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our sincere gratitude for your committee, for your presence. We are truly blessed with good health and opportunity to gather here offline and online. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, let us commence this event by paying respect to our nation with singing of the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya, followed by Hymne Perhubungan. We kindly ask all participants to rise for the anthems. Thank you. You may be seated. Next agenda, we will take a moment of over prayers for blessings of today's webinar. To lead us in prayer, I invite Mr. Muhammad Fajri Bahar, STR PEL, to the podium.
Islamic prayer. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Hamdan yuafi ni'mahu wa yukafihu mazida. Ya Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise and gratitude we raise unto you for your blessing, guidance and mercy, which have allowed us to gather today in good health for this international webinar. Ya Allah, we ask you to make this event a means of gaining beneficial knowledge, strengthening collaboration, and fostering enthusiasm in developing excellent, adaptive maritime human resource will prepare to face the challenge of digital era and artificial intelligence. Keep us away from mistakes, is all our affairs, and bless the time and efforts with dedication today. Unite our hearts in godness, and guide us so the knowledge we acquire may bring benefit to our nation, our people, and all of humanity. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Our Lord, grant us godness in this world and godness in hereafter, and protect us from the torment of the fire. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamu alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Thank you for Mr. Muhammad Fajri Bahar for the prayer. Esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we now return our attention to the presentation of the webinar activity report. It is my pleasure to invite the Director of Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic, Captain Dodik Widarbo, MTMR, to share the report with us.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. May peace and blessing be upon us all. Distinguished guests, head of the Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency, Secretary of Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency, head of the Transportation Human Resource Development Center, all officials of the Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency, all officials of Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic, honorable keynote speakers from Indonesia and abroad, Dr. Captain Wisnu Handoko, MSc, Bob Gasteri, PhD, Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences, Captain Angga Lutfi Elbrianto, SST, MM, Indonesian National Ship Owners Association, moderators, panelists, lecturers, cadets, and participants from both national and international institutions. With great appreciation, I, as the Director of Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic, present this report for the international webinar held in celebration of our 18th anniversary. The theme, empowering maritime human resource in the digital era, embracing the future of shipping through technology and artificial intelligence, highlights our commitment to advancing maritime
human capital and response to digital transportation and increasing role of AI in the global shipping industry. The webinar aims to foster collaboration in strengthening maritime human resource by promoting synergy amongst stakeholders and sharing best practice in digital era maritime education and training. The event is being held on Monday, June 30, 2025 at 15:00 to 18:30 local time via Zoom meeting and live streaming YouTube. Participants, lecturers, cadets, and students from maritime higher education institutions, government representative, shipping professionals, and both national and international partners. The webinar consists of 3 main sessions, each featuring a keynote speaker with expertise linked to the theme. Session 1, Strategies Human Capital Development for Indonesia's Maritime Sector in the Digital Era. Session 2, Transforming Maritime Education for a Digital and Autonomous Future, Global Perspective and Pedagogical Innovations. Session 3, Bridging Practice and Innovation, Preparing Support Personnel for AI-driven maritime operation. We hope this webinar support the growth of maritime education and the development of future-ready professionals. Thank you to the Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency, all speakers and participants for your contribution. Finally, we respectfully invite Dr. Jarod Triwardono, STMT, Head of the Human Resource Development on Transportation Agency, to kindly and officially open the international webinar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, and one greeting from Sorong. Salam pro prestasi.
Thank you, Mr. Dodik Widarbowo, for the comprehensive report. The next agenda is the opening remarks and official opening of the webinar, which will be presented by the head of the Human Resources Development on Transportation Agency, Dr. Jarod Triwardono. Please be invited to the screen.
Thank you, MC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, distinguished Secretaries of Human Resources Development of Transportation Agency, Head of Sea Transportation Human Resource Development Center, respected official of Human Resources Development of Transportation Agencies, Director of Sorong Marine Polytechnic, which all officials, honored keynote speakers from Indonesia and abroad, Mr. Dr. Kapten Wisnu Handoko, MSc, Mr. Bob Kastelein, PhD from Rotterdam University of Applied, Mr. Captain Angga Lutfi Eldrianto, SSTPIL, MM, from Indonesia National Ship Ownership Association, distinguished lecturer, cadets, and all webinar participation. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude of the Almighty God for allowing us to be present at the important event, an international webinar organized by Sorong Marine Polytechnic in celebration on its 18th anniversary. This year's theme, Empowering Maritime Human Resources in Digital Era, embracing the future of shipping through technology and artificial intelligence, is both timely and relevant. The challenges ahead are clear. We must not only update our technologies, but also upskill our people, reform our education approaches, and strengthen collaboration among regulation, academics, and the industry. That is why today's forum is very important. It gives us a platform to share insight, strategies, and innovation that can guide maritime human resource development both nationally and globally. In conclusion, I would like to thank all of the speakers and participants for their valuable contribution on this event. Let's make the most of this opportunity to exchange ideas, share best practices, and collaborate on finding solutions to the challenges we face. I wish you all a productive and insightful webinar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. With that, I now declare the international webinar in celebration of the 18th anniversary of Sorong Marine Polytechnic official open. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam pro prestasi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Mr. Jared for the enlightening speech. Honorable, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, we have just concluded our opening ceremony, and now we are moving to the main agenda of this webinar. We will delve into various important issues concerning how we embracing the future of shipping through technology and artificial intelligence. To lead these insightful discussions, I would like to introduce our esteemed moderator, Mr. Muhammad Imran. Mr. Imran, are you ready?
Yes, hi, I'm ready.
How are you doing today, Mr. Imran?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Wow. Okay, I do believe that you are ready to lead us to insightful discussions with all our remarkable speakers today, do you?
Yeah, I believe it's not up to me. I think the mood going to be set up by our amazing speaker, because right now we already invite three speakers, not only coming from Indonesia, but also coming from the other country, Netherlands. So I'm also thrilled. I'm excited.
Okay. Okay, before you start, allow me to introduce you to the audience. Okay. Mr. Muhammad Imran, he is highly accomplished professional in the maritime and port industry, holding master degrees from Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences and Institute Teknologi 10 November, and a bachelor degree from Institute Teknologi Bandung. Currently, he serves as the General Manager of Celukan Bawang Port at PT Pelabuhan Indonesia Persero. Mr. Imran possesses a strong background in strategic leadership and business development, having held various key positions within PT Pelabuhan Indonesia. His notable achievements include being recognized as the best students of shipping and transport. Wow, what an amazing achievement. And winning several innovation and volunteer competition. And he is also the first winner of the Indonesia-Netherlands Water Challenge. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor now to hand over the session to Mr. Muhammad Imran.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, that right now we jump into the main session, yeah, which is the seminar itself. So we will have like a great discussion over here. And yeah, I would like to say hi to everyone. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished speaker, and also participant that are joining via online and also offline. Welcome, welcome, and welcome again to international webinar held by Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic as the celebration of their 18th anniversary. So, my name is Mohammed Imran, and you can call me Ron. And today I will act as the moderator in this webinar. So recently, I also read a paper about the maritime aspect, and then I just heard that a maritime AI market is actually around 4 billion US dollar. And then there are more than 1.9 million seafarers globally. However, more than 50% seafarers are actually been struggling with the trend of digitalization and also the AI that's coming through right now. So therefore, I believe that Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic choosing this specific topic to talk about, and then we will go dive more to answer the specific question, actually how to empower maritime human resources in this digital of era. So in order to get an answer, we already invite three main speaker that will discuss and answer this specific question. And then these three speakers are actually coming from different point of view. The first speaker coming from the Ministry of Transportation, from the regulation aspect. And the second one is also coming from the lecturer. And the last one is coming from the INSA, which is we want to see from the point of view of the market itself. And then each speaker will have 20 minutes to present their idea, and it will be followed up with the 15 minutes of having a discussion later on. Before I jump to the first section, I also want to tell everyone that I also read a like an interesting paper before, saying that if we are happy, if we are excitement, it will be easier for us to absorb the knowledge. It will be easier for us to get the knowledge from the speaker. So therefore, coming from that study, I also want to, I'm hoping that the excitement and the happiness that I feel in my room can transmit it to everyone, to the audience, especially that's right now watching via online and also via offline. And if I'm not mistaken, there are several participants here join via offline. Can I say hi to everyone's joining via offline? Can you hear my voice? Can you say hi? Ah, that's great. And then if I'm not mistaken, I already heard that there is a yell, yeah, because I heard that Sorong is pretty well known as kind of like with the great spirit, and I want to see the great spirit from this webinar. If I'm not mistaken, if I said Polytechnic Pelayaran Sorong, I will heard something from the audience. I will try to see it. Okay, Polytechnic Pelayaran Sorong. Give it an applause for everyone. Thank you so much. See, I am definitely not wrong. I can see the excitement coming from this room, and I heard the excitement's coming through because in the first section we have amazing speaker, you know. And then when we are talking about the human capital in Indonesia, especially in Indonesia, yeah, this specific person, this first speaker will pop out in my head the first time. Why? Because he spent around 2 years being the head of BPSDM. For those of you who don't know what is BPSDM, BPSDM is actually stand for Badan Pengembangan Sumber Daya Manusia. So this is actually he's working on the area where how to develop human capital in under Ministry of Transportation, which is one of them is maritime human capital. And not only about that, he also pursued his doctor in a university of Jakarta or Universitas Negeri Jakarta with a major of education management or management pendidikan. And then not only about that, he also pursued his master degree in a World Maritime University with a major maritime education and training. So from all of this experience, I believe that when we are talking about the human capital, this person is one of the expert in Indonesia. And not only about that, not only about the human capital, when I try to understand who is this person, I take a look and I Google, there's one specific paper that he wrote. He wrote in a 2025 with the title of Digital Marketing Transformation based on SDL, which is like the strategic rule of value resonating in improving UMKM performance in the 2025 in digital economic era. So he's not only familiar about the human capital, but he's really well known with the capability of a digitalization and AI. So I cannot wait to hear what his opinion regarding on how to empower human capital in maritime aspect. Without further ado, let's give round of applause for Dr. Captain Wisnu Handoko. Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, can
Hi.
you hear my voice?
Yeah, we can. I can hear you, and I believe everyone also can hear you. How are you, sir?
Okay, fine. Thank you. And I'm happy to attend, even though I'm not physically attend in Sorong. But as I remember that the last international seminar I was attending at the time, but I'm sorry today I have activity in Madiun actually. In the same day, we have the university fair for the opening of the registration for the new students for this year's.
So there will be new student coming this year.
Pardon?
There will be new student coming this year. You said?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, this year we will accept for 791 students. Actually,
Wow, amazing, amazing number. 700, more than 700. So it also conclude, I said before that globally in Indonesia, when it comes to maritime seafarer, we have more than 1.9 million people as a seafarer. So therefore, I think it's pretty aligned with what I said before. Right now, I think the number is get increasing. As you can see that right now you're recruiting more than 700, yeah, 700 student, as you mentioned earlier. So how are you?
but this
Yes.
is not only for the sea transportation, but for the other transportation for the land, air, and as
Oh,
the trains, railway. I
okay.
mean,
Okay. Wow, that sounds exciting. How are you today specifically?
definitely fine. Thank you.
I thank you so much. I can feel the excitement and happiness from Pak Wisnu. Can I call you Captain Wisnu?
Sorry.
Can I call you Captain Wisnu?
Yeah, yeah. Whatever you can call me this. No.
Okay, Captain, I have one specific question actually. I'm pretty much curious because you're working as the head of BPSDM before, and you pretty well known, right? Regarding the seafarer and maritime human capital. If I ask one question, specific question, if you give the number between 1 until 10 regarding the capability of the seafarer in Indonesia, what number that you will give?
Well, it's a pretty question. I would like to say 8 to 9
Eight to
because
nine.
as,
Wow.
we have to more compete with the English, maritime English, and also for
Uh-huh.
the better communication.
Okay, that's good. So 8 and 9, yeah, meaning that it's already good, but there's also gap to the 10. So therefore, today we want to discuss on how to increase this number from 8 to the 10, how to empower human capital in maritime aspect, especially in the digitalization era. So without further ado, sir, we will give you 20 minutes to present and then follow up 15 minutes to have a discussion later. So in the next 20 minutes, the stage is yours. You can share the slide if you want. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. I would like to share my presentation, but before that, first of all, I would like to give my greetings to head of agency, Bapak Kabadan, as well as for the other speakers, especially Pak Angga. This is my best colleagues, and also other speakers and for the students in Polytechnic Pelayaran Sorong. My presentation today will take title Strategic Human Capital Development for the Indonesia Maritime Sector in the Digital Era. So the purpose of this presentation is to remind us how the human capital development is very important for the uh, maritime sector in the digital era, especially how to define the new strategy, the new approach, so that we can produce, we can provide the better human development for the Indonesia young generations. Okay, next slide. Yeah, in the first slide, I would like to remind you regarding some theories that we can put this theory into our mind, where actually there are some requirements that we have to put our strategy. First is the theory of human resource development, where the link, we have to make sure that our education and training program have the link with the industry needs. As you know that we have a lot of stakeholders. For example, Mr. Angga from the INSA. Many times I discuss with him how to manage, how to organize our education and training so that we can follow what the needs of the industries. For example, now we have the issue about the using of the vessel with the gas powering system, and then issue of the human mental health issues of the leadership, issues of the cultural awareness. So this has become several issues that rising up in the recent days. And then, moreover, talking about the motivation and discipline is something also important, where you know that the system of our education and training is the boarding school system. This is actually to give our student with the behavior, learn about the habit on the ships, where they have to attend in the right time, on the just in time behavior, and then how they can sustain. We can resistant with the different condition at the sea. So they need motivation and discipline. Also, the theory about the approach of the human resource development, as you know that according to the training and performance evaluation, the career development is have the strong relation with the education and training, where when you promoted by your organization or by your leaders, so you need have a specific education and training following your career. I mean, a specific education and training always follow your next career. And then another theory is about the technology. In recently education and training process, of course, we have to adapt and we have adopt the new technology. For example, learning management system. I think the COVID-19 3 or 4 years ago give me a lot of learning how to we provide the distant learning using the tools, as we understand now that we use the Zoom meeting, and then also use the another distant learning concept. So this is become the new creation, also using of the artificial intelligence, generated image, and so the video lecturers. This is give the more option to us how to conduct learning distance. So not only we have the restriction of distance, restriction of the time, but also we can provide with the sustainable system of the education and trainings. So this is also in another way we call the maritime e-learning adaptation theory. So this is all the theory that we can use, and we can use this as the approach in the future education and trainings. Then, moreover, again, I want to remind you about the Law Number 17 2000X, Undang-Undang Pelayaran, where in the article 261, we have four kind of development of the human resource. First is the human resource for the waterway transportation, and then human resource for the port affairs, human resource for the shipping safety and security, and then the last is the human resource for the maritime environmental protection. So this is the kind that we can only produce one only in the waterway transportation or only for the port of affairs. Seafarer is the one of the waterway transportation, but human resource for the port affair is also very important. In other way, shipping safety and security, you know that especially in the country with the issue of security and the safety, like the development country, Indonesia as well. So the issue about the safety and security also become our focus. And the maritime environmental protection, you know, the concept of the green transport actually is the one of the implementation of the maritime environmental protection. Then in the Article 264, there are some requirements how to produce the better education and training system. First is the type and level education and trainings. As you know that we have the three forms of education and training. First is the diklat pembentukan or form trainings, and then diklat peningkatan atau skill competency improvement training, and another is the technical education and training atau diklat khusus teknis. Nah, so this is kind of the type and level that we can have to define before we start or before we begin with the education and training process. Then secondly, participants, and then right and obligation. The curriculum and method is also very important. And then the qualification of educator and instructors, the teachers, facilities and infrastructure. As you know that maritime education and training is the one of the expensive education training, because we have to have simulators, bridge simulator, and room simulator. You know, today, according to the STCW new amendment, we have to provide with the gas powered ships, and then also we have to have engine room with the new requirement. So every 4 or 5 years, at least we have to renew, we have to update our facilities for the education and training. Although also the standardization, accreditation, every 5 years we have to renew the approval from the Ministry of Transport, from the Directorate of Sea Transport, and also the funding. Funding is also very crucial aspect, because you know we have to train our student with the better English, and then also we have to send them to conduct sea trainings. So we have to equip them with the safety gear, as well as with the proper document like passport or visa. So we need the funding. We have no better qualified education and training without the proper funding. So the last is how to control and give the supervision to the education and training process. Okay, so in here we can see how the connection between the form education and training and the improvement competency training, as well as the technician education and training. So in the left side, if you see, we have the university, institute, and academy, whether under the Ministry of Education, the higher education, and then also the college under the Ministry of Transport, under the BBSDM. So this is the kind of higher education we call college or polytechnic or a kind of university or faculty, and they have the output with the bachelor or master and doctoral degrees, or in the vocational terms, we recognize as the diploma, diploma 4, diploma 3, 2, or 1. Because this is the characteristic of the vocational schools. They produce the certification with the diploma requirements. And then, there are several stakeholders influence in the education and training for the vocational as well as for the maritime vocational education and training. First is the Kemendikti, the Ministry of Higher Education, and then Kemendikbud, or for the senior high school, SMK. What I mean is like SMK pelayaran, and then also the Ministry of Manpower, Kementerian Tenaga Kerja. Because if we talk about the standard competency of occupation, or we know SKKNI or SKK3, SK3, so we can understand that actually the competency is not formed by the diploma, but also for the training. So people must understand, you must understand what is different between education and training. So education, more the formal process that we call diploma or bachelor, but the trainings is more focused on the short period of the trainings, where both of this kind, education and training, is the competency. So we have also the education and training institution like BP3IP or BP2TL. This is the input of the participant of the training is coming from the experience background. In other hand, for the diploma or the bachelor, is from the graduate or from the senior high school. So this is kind of education and training form that we conduct to produce the qualified human resource in the maritime industry. Next. So this is merely about how the condition and the relation between the job opportunities and the expectation of the maritime college in the framework of increasing the role maritime human resources. So how much the number of seafarers? Maybe Indonesian seafarers more than the 300,000 who work on the foreign vessel. But I think this number might be more than 300,000. But what important is how to update our seafarers' knowledge. If IMO in the STCW amendments always have the new issue, have the new competency that we have to give our seafarers with the new education and training modules, with the education and training curriculum. So this is also become the potential development of this STCW in the point of view in the maritime business and the logistics sector. For example, the problem of how to handling the dangerous good, because always the new technology, always there are new tools, always there are new approach how to manage the maritime dangerous good. So this is only one example. Another things like radio communication and then emergency situation procedure. So this is not all the competency has implemented yet. How to prepare, how to give the understanding to our education and training institution to ready how to get the new information in the fast way so that before the new regulation enter into force, then our education and training institution already they have already the capability of the teachers and then the infrastructure as well as the simulator and laboratory to conduct the new of requirements. Next. So the next slide is talking about the world maritime policy structure toward the safer education and training. You know that recently there are 175 member states of International Maritime Organization. And every year, as you know, that they always have the meeting in London for the Maritime Safety Committee, for the marine pollution. They talk about tradings, procedures, facilitation procedure. So every country, as the member state, they always update, they always implemented the new requirement through the Ministry of Transportation and then the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education, and also the public who conduct the several education and training process, as I mentioned before. So Indonesia has adopted and ratified so far 31 conventions. Yeah, and this is the need of process in the House of Representative of Republic Indonesia, as we know the DPR, and the new standards will be introduced to every country. It's not in it's not in the short time, but actually there are time schedule where in that time we still have time to prepare. We have the time to consolidate to all of the stakeholders in our country, in Indonesia, so that when the regulation was enter into force, we are ready to cope with the education and training policy. Well, next. So this is to show you the Indonesian maritime sector in the digital era. We have the cooperation and we have the comparison study that we conduct so far together with our partners like World Maritime University, also the Rotterdam University, Norwegian Maritime University, and our NECBO, Singapore Maritime Education, Singapore Maritime Academy, and several education and training like PP3IP Jakarta and PP2TL Jakarta and STIP Jakarta, and the Pelindo Learning Center. Pelindo Learning Center. This kind of maritime education institution always try how to commit and enhance the quality of safer education through the implementation of the learning management system as well as in BP2TL. And also one of example, the learning center owned by the Pelindo, focusing on the competency development in port and the logistic management. So by the cooperation between Indonesian training institution with the foreign education and training institutions, hopefully in the future we can conduct the exchange of the new knowledge, of the new approach in the producing the more qualified human resource.
Yeah, Captain Wisnu, I'm so sorry. The time to present is already up, but you can wrap it up in a 2 minute or 1 minute. Please go ahead, Captain.
Yeah, we come to the end of my presentation. So we can direct to the recommendation of our presentations. Yeah, so this is the strategy that we implemented in the future. First is the digital mapping of maritime human resources, and then the development of national maritime learning management system, the revitalization of the maritime education, strengthen the hexahelic collaboration among the stakeholders, and how to provide the career scheme and digital talent incentive. And we also propose the recommendation in the future. So Ministry of Transport under the BPSDM, no Human Resource Development Agency, propose the building a digital maritime talent hub, also integration of the learning management system in the maritime sector, personnel system, digital training, inclusion, and the last is the mandatory digital training module. So the conclusion is, with the technologically adaptive maritime human resources or individual Indonesian seafarers are not only strong at sea but also excel in the digital area, because we have the new challenge, the new era of the digital era. So thank you very much, and we open to have discuss if any questions from the participant. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Once again, give a round of applause for Captain Wisnu. Thank you so much, Captain. I mean, like, if I am allowed to sum up, actually, well, as the representative from the Ministry of Transportation, I believe that in order to increase the capability of human capital in a maritime aspect, is already there through several aspects. Yeah, the first one is through the regulation, as mentioned earlier, that in a Undang-Undang Nomor 17, yeah, tahun 2008, there's already like several clauses that mentioning about the human capital as well, and how to increase the capability of human capital in Indonesia. And the other thing is, one thing that I also highlight, that the digitalization era is increasing and it keep changing. So the only thing that we can do in order to uh, do that is actually by adapting on regarding the trend that it's keep changing. And not only about that, one thing that I also want to highlight coming from Captain Wisnu is also the collaboration, because Indonesia or the BPSDM is not going to just stand alone, but it will the collaboration with the other stakeholder, for example, like Pelindo through the Pelindo Learning Center, or the other university, is totally needed in order to improve the capability. Thank you so much again, Captain Wisnu, for amazing presentation. I believe there are so many audience that would like to ask. I would like to remind, probably for everyone who joining via online, you can type your question in the Q&A part over there. Just type up your question and also your name, coming from where, and then what is your question. But firstly, I want to give the opportunity to have a discussion from the offline participant from the studio, from the Sorong. If you have any question, go ahead. You can raise your hand. Yeah, please go ahead. I saw one person. Please mention your name, and where you come from, and then also follow up with your question. Go ahead.
My name is Kurniati, and I'm from Sorong Marine Polytechnic. To Captain Wisnu, I want to ask a question. How does the Human Resource Development Agency plan to address digital skills gap in maritime sector.
Okay, do you copy, Captain Wisnu, the question? So if I'm not wrong, the question coming from Kurnia, and the question is mostly there is a gap, yeah, between the training in maritime aspect in human capital. So what is the role of the agency in order to filling up the gap? Is it right, Kurnia? Okay, that's the question, Captain. Go ahead. Thank you. Captain Wisnu?
Yeah, okay. Good question. Very smart question. So the role of education and training under the Human Resource Development Agency of the Ministry of Transport. Actually, we have the technical assistant. Also, it's not only a polytechnic or university under the Ministry of Transport, but also uh, perguruan tinggi negeri atau swasta, ya, the private, either private or state university who conduct the transportation study. Actually is our concern to be to give the assistant, and we have to give the new information to them about the development of technology in the transportation sectors. It's not only maritime, but also the land, air, and railway transport, and also relating to the logistic transportation system. So the important is how to make the good planning. So every year we evaluate what happened in the previous year and how to learn from the previous year to be perform better in the next year with the good planning. So actually, every polytechnic, every higher education institution uh, uh, always have the better proposals, whether how to conduct the strategy to deliver to delivery of education and training process, and then also how to upgrade and update the teachers, because the teacher are also very important. It's not only student have the obligation to conduct the prola or prada, but also the teacher also very important, so that we can give to teachers to conduct the three dharma perguruan tinggi, or the three obligation of the teachers, like they have to conduct research, we have to conduct pengabdian masyarakat, ya, for the civilians obligation, and also they have to perform the education and training process. So this is for the qualification of the teachers. And other side is how to maintain the update the infrastructures. I mean the laboratory. So this planning is all, but should be wrapping up in the good planning, so that after we do the planning, do check and then actions, evaluate them and correct them. So next years, we hope that you will perform in the better condition or better situation in the performing of education and training in every institution. So this is the normal way with that we conduct as the supervision program from the agency. That's sir. Hopefully can
Thank you.
answer the questions.
I think it's pretty comprehensive answer, sir. I mean, like if I'm allowed to sum up from your question, from your answer, there are three aspects that need to be coherent and integrate. The first one is the curriculum. So therefore, there need to have the good curriculum by having like a better planning. The second one is the human resource itself, which is like the teacher. And the last one is the infrastructure. So the curriculum, teacher, and infrastructure or the facilities in order to filling out the gap between the seafarer. Thank you so much, Captain Vishnu. So the second question, is it coming from studio? Is there any other question coming from the offline participant? Yes, I see one raised hand over there. Please, for the committee, give the microphone. Okay, introduce yourself and then follow up with your question. Go ahead.
maybe I introduce myself. My name is Juan Brian Zevanya. I'm from Nautical Department of Sorong Marine Polytechnic. I have a question regarding the material presented by Mr. Wisnu. What are the main challenges in developing innovation, maritime human resource in the current digital era? And the second question, what technologies will most impact maritime jobs in the next 10 years?
Okay. For the first, can you repeat for the first question? I'm sorry, it's a bit echoing, so I can't hear clearly. Can you repeat it one more?
Okay. The first question, what are the main challenges in developing Indonesian maritime human resource in current digital era?
Okay.
And the second question, what technology will most impact maritime jobs in the next 10 years?
Okay. If I'm not, if I get correctly, the first question is actually what is the main challenge that and how to develop the human capital in maritime aspect, especially in the era of digitalization. And then the second one is what is the impact that you expect in the next 10 years regarding the human capital as well. So is that a question?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. For the first question, go ahead, Captain Wisnu. What is the main challenge with developing the human capital in maritime aspect, especially in the era of digitalization?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Excellent questions. First of all, we have to remember that in the future, according to the many source and reference, there are several jobs will be disappear. Yeah, many jobs will be disappear, including in the maritime sectors, because the using of artificial intelligence, the using of electrical equipment with the sophisticated digital equipments. So there are many tasks that previously doing by the human now already done by the computer, by the automatic tools. So have to do is how to start in our process learning to introduce the student, introduce the campus, introduce to the learning activities using the such equipment, the such technology. The concept of smart campus or the smart class that conduct and that provide by the polytechnic on the university is very important, because if we still use the manual system of learning, the way of learning is still in very conventional way. I'm afraid that in the future you don't understand, and you will surprise when the first time you're on board, because the new vessel is very sophisticated, equipped with the digital system. So this is must be start today. Yeah, at least to introduce you with the new such tools. And then the second time, and the second way or second options, also in the manner of conduct the cadet record book, for examples. We start not in the book form on the notes, but the campus must try with the digital version, so that when you conduct or tag the cadet record book on board, you will have and we will equip from the campus with the digital form, so that easy for you put on your tablet or on your gadget, and you just bring to the on board ships, and you conduct item by item, and also the digital side will be give from your officer or your captain or your engineer on board of the ship, instead of manual book. So from this you can collect the evidence, you can collect the research data on the digital front. So we can start from the small things like this, yeah, to instead in the manual form. So this is my answer. Start from
Yeah,
small things.
start from small thing. I totally agree with that. A big change is always been started from the small change, sir. Big wave started from the small wave. So I totally agree with that. And then that's actually the main challenge. Yeah. I mean, like the replacement of human being because of digitalization, especially with AI. I think we need to be ready on how to answer that challenge by having the readiness, including one thing that I highlight also smart campus. Smart campus also implement in the Ministry of Transportation as well, right, sir? The
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
campus. Yeah.
We
So therefore, yeah,
system of new smart campus. Yeah.
yeah, so therefore, and I also heard that the Ministry of Transportation not only imply the smart campus, implement smart campus, but also implement the LSM, learning system management. And I believe it also can boost and answer the main challenge that Captain Wisnu just explained earlier. We have another question actually. Do we have time? I think we will have one more question, yeah? Just one quick question from the online this time, sir. I will read it from Irene Christie. She asks, can you share a successful case study of human capital transformation in Indonesia maritime sector? So the case study, the example.
Oh yeah. Case study is very important. You know, when we learn about the nautical or engineer or technical uh, uh, study, or let's say you from the port management or port administration. So this is only the name of the study or nama program studi, but
Yeah.
actually in the uh, in the new era of the education and training system, you can learn everything beyond of the subject that you learn from your teacher by yourself. You can get from the seminar like this. You can attend to the other university seminars. Also, when you have the vacation or you have the holiday time, you can go to the industry. You can go to the office of Pak Angga in INSA. There are so many companies that provide the new things. So don't waste your time only cut from your teachers. You can learn from everyone. You can learn from everyone, from everything. Yeah. So this is the kind of transformation way of thinking in the education and training in the maritime sector. So don't just waiting and receive or accept from your teacher, but you can research, you can conduct the research, you can get the new information from everywhere. Use your gadget not only from the scroll down, scroll up of the media, social, your Facebook or Instagram for the nothing information or for the rubbish information, but take the from very important person like from the speakers today. They're very competent and they're very rich with the experience. Got it. So this is the kind of transformation of the education and training for the maritime sectors. That's my questions.
Ah,
Answer. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much, Captain. There is still like so many races over here, but unfortunately the time is up. I can feel the excitement from the offline and also online audience because I believe that what you said is totally meaningful for us because as I mentioned, I'm pretty amazed about your experience in human capital for being the head of BPSDM and also everyone also want to learn from you. And I believe that if we have more time, there's still so much discussion that we can dig more, but unfortunately the time is up. Next time, probably, we have an opportunity to talk with Captain Vishnu. But unfortunately, for this opportunity, the time's up. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are reached to the moment of appreciation. So, on behalf of Sorong Merchant, Marine Polytechnic, which is the organizing committee, we would like to say again, thank you so much, Captain Vishnu, for being the amazing speaker. And then as the token of appreciation, we are pleased to present this certificate of appreciation coming from the committee. Yeah, probably we should take a picture with the Captain Vishnu and also the certificate for the committee. Please screenshot probably. Yeah. Is there any specific post from the Ministry of Transportation that we can learn, Captain Vishnu? Is there any
Yeah,
specific, what is it?
I will say BPSDM Perhubungan, then you can say Pro Prestasi Gold Generation together we be strong.
Okay, it's a bit long. Can you repeat it again? But I believe that the offline audience know, yeah. First, I want to ask the offline audience for the in the Sorong meeting room. You already know about this yell, yeah?
Yes, together.
Yes. Okay. Can I hear from the kawan? There is a one yell as well, sir. Before we go to your yell, I want to ask again. Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong.
Gold generation.
Oh, okay. One more, probably from Pak Wisnu. Go ahead, Pak Wisnu. Captain Wisnu.
Okay. Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong.
I think we need to more like I think that the signal is a bit delayed. Can we give one microphone probably as a representative in the room? There is one. Is there any microphone that we can use in the room? Okay, we got it from the room. I think got it. Yeah. The yell coming from Pak Wisnu. Go ahead, Pak Wisnu. Captain Wisnu.
Okay. Politeknik Pelayaran Sorong.
Okay, I think they get it.
Okay. Poltekpel Sorong, we love you, we proud you. Just
Thank
move
you.
forward.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Captain Vishnu. I didn't expect that the person who has a high level like you, that's so humbly and so excited. I'm totally honored to be your moderator. Thank you so much, Captain Vishnu. You can continue your next agenda. I believe that you're busy, but if you want to hang out over here listening to the second speaker, would love to more than welcome Mr. Vishnu to join for the second section. So again, thank you so much, Captain Vishnu, for the amazing first section. And then we jump to the second speaker, to the second section. We already hear from the point of view of the government, which is the Ministry of Transportation, Captain Vishnu. Yeah. And right now, we also want to hear from the different point of view, especially from the other country. We already invite the second speaker. When we are talking about the research, I think this is the first person that it's also popping my head because I'm as an alumni of Rotterdam University. I already heard so much about this second speaker. So he already spent from July in 2023 as being the research in a logistic Rotterdam University of Applied Science. And then he also graduated PhD in Sustainable Transport Policy in Erasmus University of in Rotterdam. And then he also pursuing and then graduate in a University of Groningen with a cum laude with the major of international economic and business. And until 2025, he already published 54 paper international regarding the logistic. I even like 54. And then after I read the list of the paper that he already published until 2025, mostly focused on a logistic and also food, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So without further ado, please welcome Bob Castellane or Mr. Bob. Hi, Bob.
Hello, thanks so much for the introduction. Just
Thank
a quick
you.
check. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. I can hear you clearly. How are you today, Bob?
Doing okay. Very excited to
Very
be here.
nice.
Excited
Yeah.
to be here. But first of all, thanks so much for the invitation. I really like presenting for a group like this. So I appreciate the invitation from Philemon in particular. Thank you. Good to see you here again, and great to share something about what we do in this setting. I'm going to try and share my screen. See if that works.
Yeah. So right now, if I'm not mistaken, Bob is all the way in the Netherlands to give us the presentation. And then as I mentioned earlier, Bob, we have like a 20 minute. I will give you 20 minutes to present your material, and after that, it will follow up in a 15 minute by having the question and answer to have discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay, before we start, I want to ask before we start, the first speaker, I already asked if he allowed to give the number of the quality of seafarer in Indonesia, what number that he give. I already asked that to the first speaker. And then for the second speaker, I will ask the different question, Bob. So my question for you is, if you give us, because so many alumni from Rotterdam University apply for science, coming from Indonesia. If you can give us the number, the quality of the human capital in Indonesia that pursuing his master degree in Rotterdam University apply for science, can you give us the number between 1 until 10?
You know, being a lecturer, I cannot just start giving out grades, but what I can tell is that your colleagues, your fellow countrymen, the Indonesians I've met so far, including Philemon, very, very dedicated, very professional group. Also compared to the rest of the cohort, really appreciate your attitude and your willingness to learn. That's why many of you come to Rotterdam. We would love to see you come in with that attitude. I think I would agree with the number my professional group. The previous presenter gave out 8 or 9. With a solid level and some opportunity to improve and a willingness to improve. So let's see if that webinar can contribute to that.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you. So the number from Bob, even 8, which is like there's an opportunity to improve from that, but kudos. Especially there's some alumni coming from the Sorong. Actually, not only Philemon, but also Fajar and many other students. And then thank you so much for the number 8. So we heard a lot about Bob. So without further ado, Bob, the stage is yours. You have 20 minutes starting from now.
Thanks so much. Again, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the introduction. I really appreciate being here and sharing something about what we do in logistics and maritime education and research in Rotterdam.
Thank you so much.
Hello to Philemon and you and all the other alumni who may be listening in. Great to see you in this setting again. For the next 20 minutes, it will be about topic transforming maritime education for a digital and autonomous future to global perspective and pedagogical and all the innovations. That's what was asked for me. And looking at the digital and autonomous future, I think there are some worthwhile things that I can share with you. Topic transforming maritime education for those of you who haven't been to Rotterdam yet or heard that much about it yet. Quick introduction about the institution I'm from and what we do. We are Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences. We have lots of different institutes in different educational programs and research areas. But what's relevant for you and for me is where I work. It's in education at the Rotterdam Mainport Institute. That's the building by the side of the river. Looks great even if you haven't been there before. We offer bachelor education in the directions of maritime officer, maritime technology, and logistics engineering and management. And we offer the master shipping and transport. That's where I teach, focusing mostly on research skills and methodology education. And aside from the education department that we have there, we also conduct research in the domain of smart logistics and maritime innovation at the Center of Expertise HR Tech. That's located, if you know Rotterdam a little bit, it's located on the other side of the river in the hall where we used to build submarines, and now we do applied research there. Within this domain, SLMI for short, we focus on 4 different topics. The first is the energy transition in logistics and the maritime sector. That's kind of my main topic. We focus on resilient and robust logistics and maritime systems, circular supply chains and transport systems, and probably most relevant for today, automation and digitalization. So we conduct research here that also can translate to the education programs on the other side of the river. And in what we do with students, we also learn things that help us move forward in research. So education and research kind of go hand in hand in developing new knowledge, but also developing new skill sets for the work field. Try to get the synergy from that. So now diving into autonomous shipping, it's still a pretty far away picture. It's not happening tomorrow or the day after, but years from now, we see that this is a direction that the industry wants to move in. More autonomous technology, so less reliance on crew and less potential for human error on board, no matter how well trained the crew may be. On the technical side, on the ship, we also see a bit of an energy transition discussion going on there. And that the long-term picture is that we switch away from fossil fuels and towards energy sources like hydrogen and electricity. And the main idea is that with that, you have a propulsion system on the ship that is less maintenance intensive, and also more of the maintenance you can do on shore, and it's less susceptible to minor failures en route, which reduces the need for maintenance tasks on board. That's the idea. Also, the ship's systems are becoming smarter in that they gather more data with sensors, etc., camera, radar, and they are connected to, I would maybe say, the cloud or any type of system that connects them to an onshore system. And the interaction between the ship and its crew and the onshore center, which we call the remote operation center, where all the sensor data and the ship status and whatnot can be tracked in real time. That interaction is going to really define how autonomous shipping is going to work out in practice. So everything the ship does is going to become more data intensive, generating more data, more connected, and as such, the interaction between the ship and the shore is going to become more intensive, which is also going to have implications for what the crew will be doing on board. Considering that when the ship is that smart, that connected, you will start thinking, what can the ship do autonomously or semi-autonomously or supervised autonomously, and what can potentially be done from shore with one operator maybe supervising a number of different vessels, which also results in certain efficiency gains. So that's the big picture technology towards the future. And what does that mean for what the ship does and who does what on board of the ship? You maybe are familiar with the IMO classification of degrees of autonomy. I see you nodding, that's good. When the first degree of autonomy, there is a ship with some automated processes and some decision support. So there's still a full crew on board that is supervising what the ship does and take control when necessary, but some processes are automated. You can think of it like the track pilot or like the lane assist you may have in your car that keeps you within the lanes of the road. Simple standardized tasks that are still supervised by a crew that can take control when necessary. In the second step, the ship is remote controlled from shore, but there is still a crew on board to do maintenance, do all the things for which you need to be on board actually. But some of the tasks, particularly related to navigation, are done from the shore. Now, one level further, you have a remotely controlled ship without any seafarers on board. So there's still supervision going on, but that supervision is all from shore, and the ship can sail autonomously in theory, but there is still an element of control. Now, really far away in the future, there we have level 4, the fully autonomous ship, where the ship can operate entirely by itself. And maybe there's onshore supervision to still step in. I think with AI, it's desirable, even necessary, to have some kind of override possibility. But broad strokes, this is the way forward for the autonomous ship in the future. And how this will progress from one level to another will really vary by and depend on which journey phase you're talking about. Straightforward sailing may be easier to automate than maneuvering within a port. Sailing may be easier to automate than loading and unloading, for example. And it also differs between which systems on board you're talking about and which crew tasks you're talking about. Some are easier to automate than others. And it will depend on the different roles of the crew on board. Which tasks, which roles will be easier to automate than others. That's more or less it's not an entirely open question, but it's still a bit up in the air which task will be automated first. And of course, this is all pending regulatory development. There are some experiments ongoing in Belgium. They're a bit further than in the Netherlands. They are experimenting with track pilot in inland waterway transport. There's an experiment going on with a maritime corridor between Rotterdam and Norway, but that's all very supervised, still in a experimental environment where my colleagues had to get actual permission from authorities to do this, because it's not by the rules as they are now. So how this will develop also really depends on how it will be regulated moving forward. But still, we have to anticipate that something is going to happen. What does this mean for the crew? Some colleagues of mine have done research into which tasks crew members take in their day-to-day work. So not looking at roles or functions or ranks on board, but specifically the tasks that people do. And they try to break it down and estimate the degree to which it can be automated. And they came up with the conclusion that this progression of automation will likely start with normal navigation being automated or semi-automated, and everything related to the engine room, so maintenance, troubleshooting, what have you, will probably be the least prone to automation. That is until you switch to some kind of electric engine where you have less moving parts and less need for maintenance. At least that's the idea that they are trying to sell us. And the crew reduction, and of course the cost saving, that's what the industry is also interested in, can be further facilitated by shifting these tasks among the crew. That if you take 2 tasks away from one crew member and 2 tasks from another, maybe you can do the remaining tasks with one person, but it means that this person has to develop a slightly different, a wider, more all-round skill set to take over these tasks. So as more tasks are automated on board, you can do the same with a smarter ship and a smaller crew, but among the crew, some tasks have to be reshuffled, which means more training, more well-rounded sailor profile, so to say. Now, what do we do to see what that does on board, and how we can support the development of these skill sets for sailors and other maritime staff? Well, one thing we developed is a virtual reality stress game where students or sailors that want to learn more, they put on VR goggles and they get to practice with the virtual scenario on board ship, where in these scenarios we can simulate anything we want, any situation we want. It can be something new, it can be something surprising, it can be something stressful, whatever. And in doing so, we can train them to develop the skills they need to respond to these scenarios. Most of the time, it comes down to new soft skills. So it's not about learning how the engine works, because people know that they are good at their job. but maybe they need to communicate in a new way. Maybe they need certain digital literacy skills to actually navigate these scenarios in a good way. We can simulate, for example, people being on a semi-autonomous ship and trying to figure out how to redivide tasks when necessary. Another thing we experimented with is the track pilot on an inland vessel. And again, we work with the simulator we have at the university. And in the simulator, we simulate that the ship is using a track pilot. So the captain doesn't have to do anything except supervise that the track pilot is doing the right thing in the canals and the rivers that the ship follows. The student here, or the young professional here, we put on an eye tracking device that allowed us to look at where he is looking at. And we were expecting that the captain needs to watch the waterway and needs to see whether the ship is going in the right direction. But in practice, we see that the captain is also very much looking at the screen, looking at what the track pilot is doing. So we learned from this that the trust in an automated system, in an autonomous system, is not instantaneous. Sailors have to get used to this technology, and very much, even if they are instructed to just watch what the ship is doing, they are still also watching what the track pilot is doing. They want to they want to keep a close look on whether the autonomous system is doing the right thing. And of course, over time, as they train more with the system and the system gets better, maybe this trust will maybe increase. But it's also a learning curve for the crew to work with, and at some points also have the judgment when to trust the system and when to keep an eye on the system. That's something they have to learn, and we are still working on understanding better. We talked a lot about soft skills, communication, information literacy, digital literacy. Now you may ask, we also need hard skills, technical knowledge. And to support that, last year, a student of ours worked on a chatbot, in his case for easy navigation of safety manuals, these really big manuals that are not fun to read, but still necessary to know. He developed a chatbot based on a big pile of books that allowed sailors with a smartphone or a tablet to not have to memorize the entire safety manual, but ask very specific questions. Like, can I go fishing here? I see a stranger on board. What do I do? With a chatbot like this, sailors maybe don't have to rely that much on ready knowledge that they have to actually hardwire themselves, that they have to know by heart. If they have this type of support, they don't have to know these things by heart, but can actually learn to better navigate the communication with such a chatbot to get the information they need faster, and thereby also shift their soft skills to the communication and digital literacy skills that they need in an autonomous and digital future. But these are some examples of what we do to move this domain forward, and to, as a researcher, also understand what is happening on board, what is happening with things that people do when these types of technologies are introduced. Now, zooming out a little bit, a very speculative, long-term perspective on seafarer skills. We looked at how autonomous technology, digitization, and AI can be game changers. Right now, we say they can be, because sometimes they are a bit overhyped, and we still have to see what is going to come from them. But in the long run, they are definitely going to have an impact. And from previous research, we did see that the move towards autonomy will probably reshuffle tasks between ship and shore, but also among any remaining crew on board, which asks for a different skill set. a more all-round skill set, being able to take up different tasks in different domains, different parts of the ship, but also asks for more soft skills like digital literacy, understanding what an autonomous system does and where you need to supervise and where you may need to step in, and communication skills when this communication between ship and shore will intensify, maybe between a crew on board and a operator or supervisor on shore. So these soft skills, digital literacy, communication, are definitely going to become more important. So in sum, we have this new technology coming up. The sector is moving in that direction at a speed determined by, well, technology as well as regulation. And that will very likely ask for new skill sets. We approach it from the other side as well, that new technology like VR, AI, autonomy can also be used to develop these new skills and to support sailors in their work. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It can be a threat to maritime employment, but it can also be a serious impetus to skill upgrading for those working in the sector. Because when the ship is becoming smarter, the crew cannot help but become smarter either. That's as far as I wanted to share and speculate a little bit. I hope you found it interesting, and very much looking forward to any questions you may have. Thank you so far.
Thank you so much, Bob, for presentation. We still have several times left, but I think we can accumulate that to question and answer later on. When one thing that quite caught my attention is actually on how digitalization, we need to embrace the digitalization era into our activity, especially in the maritime aspect, on how to increase the capability of the seafarer. There's several aspects. I mean, like one thing that caught my attention is actually the chatbot. And then you mentioned earlier that it's actually coming from the student, right? That is, I think it's almost similar with ChatGPT, right? So you just need to ask what kind of question that you have. So you don't need to read everything, not only read everything, but you don't need to memorize everything. Because sometimes when in an emergency and you can't panic, not because you didn't learn before, you already learned, but sometimes it just disappear what you learned, and then you need to have the immediate action. And I think the chatbot is pretty much like a cool app for those seafarer. If something happened, they just write it down what do you need, and then it must be reliable, right? It's only different with the ChatGPT. Sometimes if you ask the ChatGPT, the answer is not reliable, and in this case, it's 100% reliable. So I think it's a good like tools, yeah, for the seafarers to implement later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely. And to add to that, I fully agree with you that some kind of ready knowledge is also necessary to immediately do what's necessary in an emergency situation. And with ChatGPT, the problem is reliability. If it produces some kind of information, you're never really sure what source it comes from and whether it's any good. That's why these chatbots need to be more self-contained and trained on a very specific material, a prescribed material like these manuals, where you are sure that whatever the chatbot pulls out comes from the sources where you want to get the information from.
That's really cool. I hope I can use that when I have the assignment when I was studying in RUAS before. So when there's question from the from the teacher, I can just use the chatbot. With the kid aside, I believe that there are so many questions coming from the offline audience. Yeah, I already see like the raise hand from the offline audience. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, Professor Ma'am. Let me introduce myself. My full name is Irene Christian Grace Iro. People usually call me Irene. I'm young cadet from Sorong National Poltekpel. I have question for Mr. Bob. What challenge do educators face when implementing AI-driven learning tools, and how can this be overcome?
Can you repeat do you get it, Bob?
Not quite. Sorry.
Yeah, can you repeat the one more question?
What challenge do educators face when implementing AI-driven learning tools, and how can this be overcome?
Oh, okay. I think I got it. Correct me if I'm wrong, yeah. So I think what is the challenge for the educator facing the AI trend currently right now, and how to overcome those challenges? Because I believe that probably for the educator, most of the majority of the student, once they got excitement, they just can use AI and then just can write a paper on AI and everything. And then, yeah, I mean, like, what is the main challenge for the educator and how to overcome this challenge? Thank you, Irene, for the question. Amazing. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Thank you. It's a very good question, also very pertinent to my work at the moment. Last week, I had a student who delivered a thesis where half of all the sources were just made up by AI. These hallucinations that it produces a likely sounding source, even if it doesn't exist, which is a waste of my time if I'm reading it, and the student doesn't learn anything from it either. Ultimately, yeah, we're still trying to navigate this. We're really not sure where it's going to end up, but we still need to be aware that we are not assessing the student's ability to write a thesis. We are assessing students' ability to learn, to do research, to make sense of the information that they are provided with, to draw conclusions, to be a critical, self-critical, and well-rounded professional. So if we find that the thesis is no longer a good product to test whether the student has developed those skills, maybe we need to think about a different product. Maybe an assessment, an in-person assessment, maybe a presentation, maybe something like a portfolio where they, of course, they do the work and they report on it with a thesis, which as a format may still work. But to really assess their learning, we may need to ask them for more reflection, more presentations, more in-person assessments. That's the way we're leaning now. For next year, we're still going with the thesis, but with a larger role for an in-person assessment. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a great question, very pertinent. It's something that has our attention, and we're trying to navigate that to still make sure that we are delivering professionals with the right skill set.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bob. I think that's great answer for me. One thing that I got from Bob is actually just try to embrace. I mean, like, because you can't deny that AI is one of the tool. I think there's an era where we try to calculate by hands, but there's come the calculator that is actually helping us to calculate, right? Meaning that we need to embrace what is the current tool, and in this case, it's actually AI. So I think for the educator, they don't need to ask the student not to use AI. Probably just try to be more critical, as you mentioned earlier. Try to be more critical what you read in AI, and then if you know that it's actually, if you can sense whether it's actually reliable or not reliable, it's, yeah, don't use it if it's not reliable, right? And then I think it increased the capability for us as the first one as being like the creator, but since AI come, we are not only as being creator, but also the reviewer in order to make sure review the work coming from the AI. So I think embracing the technology, not just denying the technology. I think it's a great point from Bob. Thank you so much for the answer. Is there any other question coming from? Oh, we have online question. We have online participant Bob. Go ahead. I see Mr. Arif. Yeah, yeah, Arif Nasrul Jadani. Go ahead.
Hello, Bob. As I know, one of the key challenges of development of autonomous is safety. There is a potential for cyber attack for the autonomous vessel, especially attack for vessel system navigation and communication. How is RUAS preparing their student about this cyber risk? Because I know RUAS still develop about the autonomous learning about autonomous vessel, and it is possible if ROAS will share about their module regarding the cybersecurity, like that. Because cybersecurity is important for the autonomous vessel, like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Arif, for the excellent question. So mostly it's all about the cybercrime, yeah, the increasing number of the cybercrime. So what is the role of Rotterdam University in order to mitigate these risks? Go ahead, Bob.
Thanks for the question, Arif. Great to see you again in this setting. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while. It's a great point that you bring up, because this whole story isn't moving forward if security is guaranteed. Now, I must say I'm a logistics researcher. I'm not a cybersecurity researcher. People a lot smarter than I are hopefully doing things in the right direction there. It's a very complex story from what I understood. That's basically the bottom line. Cybersecurity can really be a showstopper here. That if these systems are on the market, but it's not being shown that they are 100% safe, or at least as close as possible to 100% safe, then also the regulatory reform needed to move this forward probably won't come. Again, I'm not a cybersecurity expert, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work technically, but I can imagine that at some point the communication between the ship and the shore has to be siloed off from the general internet, from the general cloud, and any risks in there have to be mitigated. And the role of the crew can potentially be to of course, be smart. Don't keep your password on a post-it in your wallet, so to say. I think a lot of these security threats also stem from some kind of human error regarding security, but also to be aware how you can spot when some kind of system or some kind of connection has been compromised. And like we discussed, with anything automated, some kind of big red button to take over control as a human, that still has to be there, and the crew has to be well in tune to understand when is the moment to press that red button and still take control. So again, not being an expert, these are the directions I think that this discussion is going to go. Upskilling of the crew to know when something is going on and what to do in that case, and some kind of technical solution to kind of silo off everything related to the ship and the communication with the shore. Maybe there is some expert in the domain that can say more about this. That's as far as I know.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. So the most important is actually raise the awareness from the crew regarding the risk of on how to mitigate the risk, right? So we need to upskill the crew skill regarding the cybercrime, and also I think it should be follow up with the facilities that is provided in the ship as well. Especially as you mentioned, probably there's kind of like a red button, quote unquote. If there's something happen, it just press the red button, and then the cyber crime, I mean, like the data is just finally closed and then cannot be accessed from another area. So yeah, great. Yeah,
Mr.
Arif,
Imran, I have a last question. Actually, if it possible, we make a collaboration between RUAS and Sorong Merchant Marine to make the curriculum for cybersecurity, because I think it's rare for Indonesian university like that, because it's cybersecurity. It's rare. I think it's new, although it's already implemented by IMO since 2017, but it's not implemented yet in Indonesia. It's possible we make collaboration between Sorong and RUAS regarding to make a curriculum for cybersecurity. I think also with our stakeholder to make that curriculum.
Yeah, then now that you bring it up, I can try and connect you with my colleagues from the Maritime Officer program. It's not the program in which I work, so I don't know how far they are or what they are even doing in the domain of cybersecurity. But I will ask and try to connect you, Arif.
Yeah, I think wow, great proposal from Arif. I think this event it's not only sharing the section but also increasing the collaboration between Rotterdam University College for Science and also BPSDM Sorong. If you don't know BPSDM Sorong, BPSDM Sorong is actually the organization that is focusing on how to develop human resource, focusing in maritime aspect. But they located in Sorong, and Sorong is actually the eastern part of Indonesia. Like you can tell, right, how smart the eastern part of Indonesia by having Arif and also the excellent question as well coming from the audience. So great proposal. I hope this initiative can happen really soon, so we can learn so much more about the cyber crime security. Yeah. So do we have any question again from the offline participant? One more probably. Yeah, I see one question. One person raising hand, please. The studio is still on mute. I'm sorry. Can I think yeah, no, not from the microphone, but from the Zoom. They're still on mute. So please unmute the Zoom from the offline. From the yeah, from the room. Yeah. So, but whilst we are waiting for that, I think that they have another question though from online. Yeah, whilst waiting from the offline participant. Coming from Inda. To what to what extent do you see AI helping reduce the further workload, and how can we ensure that they stay actively engaged rather than becoming passive observers, especially regarding the chatbot because it needs to be updated, right? So yeah, go ahead, Bob. What do you think?
Yeah, thanks again for another great question. I think the answer lies a bit in what our moderator discussed earlier. That you need to have some kind of ready knowledge to still do the right thing in an emergency without consulting a chatbot. And as these requirements develop, it also comes down to simply retraining. And maybe the simulator and the VR work we do with the experiments we discussed earlier can also help to kind of train this this readiness and prevent crew from taking on the role of a passive observer. Because I do see the danger. It's a mix of being able to rely on systems, but also being actively engaged and cooperating with these new systems. So it's a good question, and I think the answer lies in a balancing act and a continuous training and upskilling.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with that though. I mean, like the curriculum and the trends keep changing, and I think at the end of the day, in order to upgrade and follow up and adapt, I think training also need to change and also follow up the trend. Yeah, curriculum and also the teacher as well. So I think I totally agree with Bob. So one last question again, coming from the offline participant. Uh, but please unmute the. Yeah, go ahead.
Instagram. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Samastu. I'm from Sorong Marine Polteknik. Actually, I have a question for Mr. Bob. So, what innovation have proven most effective in preparing students for digital and autonomous maritime futures?
What is the innovation in order to prepare for the trend of digitalization, right? Yeah. Okay. So what is the preparation? I mean, like, what is the innovation that already prepared regarding the autonomous ship, as you mentioned earlier? What is the innovation?
It's a good question. Thank you for that. And the honest answer is that I'm not 100% sure. Autonomous shipping is still very much in an experimental phase. So even how it's going to work technically and in practice, there's still a lot of research ongoing on that stage. What I do notice is that students, linking back to the earlier question, students are very easy to access things like ChatGPT to help them in their day-to-day. So in the basis, that affinity and that digital literacy is there to some degree. What is important is, like a moderator said, is being able to have the right knowledge yourself ready, and also being critical to whatever it is these smart systems are doing. Still being able to be in charge. And what innovation will best prepare students? I'm not sure yet, but I guess it will be a combination of digital literacy and being smart with the way we conduct education and training, using simulation and VR to better prepare them for a wider range of scenarios in which they need to function.
Okay, I think, yeah, totally agree. The raise the awareness of the people, especially the crew, the student, on how to get adapt with the changing, right? So I think I totally agree with that. I'm afraid that the question and answer come to end. We already spent more than 20 minutes actually for the having discussion. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, time's running so fast and then it doesn't feel like it. I think we still want to have a discussion with you because I think this is the second time that I got invited from the Sorong, and I think among all of the BPSDM again, the kind of like the university of the human resources in Indonesia, and then it's spread throughout Indonesia. And I think every single anniversary for Sorong, one thing that I highlight is actually they always have international webinar. They always invite a speaker coming from the other country in order to understand about the trend. And right now, this year, it's your turn to explain what is happening and the trend, especially in the Netherlands. And then, but last question coming from me, the quick one. You mentioned that IMO have 1, 2, 3, 4 state, right? When it comes to autonomies, where are we right now?
Well, in practice, in the sector itself, we're still at 0.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not moving forward at a large scale yet. Experimentally, we can go all the way up to 4. I think with smaller vessels like inspection vessels, that's moving further than cargo ships, for example. But yeah, the sector is still well, not automated to any meaningful degree.
Okay, so it's still on 0, but we are still, I think, moving forward to 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at the end, we need to ready, especially in Indonesia, where Indonesia is an archipelago country. And I believe that the student from Sorong totally ready to do that because seeing from the curriculum, seeing from the implementation of LSM, learning system management, they also try to articulate the virtual reality as well, and then the simulation as well. So it's good for them, and I believe that they are ready to see the future of the seafarer needed, yeah, and also autonomous of ship. So I think once again, I would like to say thank you so much, Bob, for the excellent insight regarding the automation, especially trend, and then yeah, your point of view on how to handle and mitigate it, this trend as well. And again, once more, ladies and gentlemen, right now we are now reached to the moment of appreciation. Again, on behalf of Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic, I would like to say thank you so much, Bob, for your time. And then, as the token of appreciation, we are pleased to present the certificate of appreciation for our second speaker, which is Bob Castellane. Uh, do we need, is there any certificate that is going to take a picture together with the Bob, with Bob? Yeah, there you go. So
There it
this
is.
is actually the certificate that is going to give it to you. Doctor, is that right? Should I call you Dr. Bob or
Yeah.
just Dr. Bob Castellan? So probably we take a picture for one more. 1, 2, 3. Do you have any specific pose, Bob, that you would like to show us when
Specific
you
what?
take a picture? Like specific
Oh.
pose? No?
No, I'm okay. I want to take this opportunity, this moment of appreciation, to also extend my appreciation. Thanks so much for inviting me. Thanks so much for the interesting discussion, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you all the way from the Netherlands. Thanks.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is totally ours. And then again, I want to ask one more picture. I will teach you on how to take a picture in Indonesia like
Let's
this.
go.
So this is L. Do you know what L is? Indonesia. L is stand for laut. So this
Loud.
is actually like an ocean. Yeah. So this is like a classical
Okay.
pose that we usually take a picture. Can we do that? And then I ask the committee to take a picture with Bob and also the audience. Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. One more, give a round of applause for Dr. Bob Castellon. Thank you so much again for great insight. We continue, yeah. We continue the next section. We already have the third speaker. We already heard the representative from the Ministry of Transportation. We already hear the insight from the global trend from Mr. Bob Castellin. And right now, I think this is, I think, quite interesting. I already met him before, and then I was being his friend in social media in his Instagram, and I saw so many good activities, positive activities that he kept doing. No wonder why, but one thing that just took me by surprise after I read his curriculum vitae is actually this person, not only the vice president of the human capital in DPP INSA, but one thing that caught me by surprise, since 2023 until now, he is the founder for God's sake, founder of the International Cruise Service that since that established in December of 2023. And in short amount of time, this person and then this company already have more around 750 crew pulling through this institution. I cannot wait to hear from the manning perspective, and please give a round of applause and please welcome Captain Angga Lutfi Adrian.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear my voice well?
Yeah. I can hear your voice. How are you, sir?
Okay, loud and clear. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting us INSA as the International National Ship Owner Associations, and then basically I representing the human resources of marine and also training, where basically is very in line with the seafaring sector. So yeah, thank you so much. My Excellency to Kabadan, Pak Jarod and Pak Wisnu, and also my excellency to Pak Dodik. So basically, for me, I was been in Sorong, I think in November, October last year during the graduations. So for me, it's also for the very first time coming to Sorong to see all the beautiful school, and then because also we are investigating one big project, very pioneer project of FLNG in Sorong. So basically, we really would like to investigate the opportunity to work very close with Poltekpel Sorong and how we can develop the marine human resources together. Um, all right, and then also to all the lecturers and also to all the distinguished speakers. I see Bob and also Captain Wistu, and also for all the cadets that I really amazed from here in Jakarta. Okay, so let me share my presentations. So I'm going to have 20 minutes, right?
Yes, you have 20 minutes to present your presentation, and after that, we will have 15 minutes for the question and answer or discussion.
All right, thank you so much. All right, do you see my presentations now?
Yeah, we can see it now.
All right, so before we go through the details of this, so I also would like to share to all of you what is the opportunity where basically I think it is the most interesting part for all the students, not only the student but also the lecturer and also all the maritime sector in Indonesia, because basically we are working hand in hand to grow our maritime sector, especially in the seafaring sector, and then but by the end, are we having that kind of opportunity? So that's basically the main question that I would like to elaborate to all of you. Can you hear the voice of the video?
No, not really. Probably because when you share it, you have to click the tick. You have to tick the sounds when you share.
Take the sound. Let me
Yeah.
check. What is it?
Yeah, probably you can stop share screen and then start share screen again.
Okay.
And
Okay, how can I
then
do that?
I think when you start share screen, you have to click the, wait a second, I will help you out. The share sound on the right side.
Okay, I will share my screen.
And then share sound.
Ah, share sound. Okay, right,
Yeah,
got it.
got it.
Okay. I tried to make this presentation not boring because basically this is from the industry part. So basically, this is one of the example of our member. So basically, INSA we're having 100 of member as a ship owners, and then basically CMCGM is also one of our member because they do have a cabotage vessel with Indonesian flag vessel. So basically, they are also part of our member, and then. Beside of that as well, that we are also proud to inform you that because of their expansion, so basically the demand of having more crew is there basically. So now basically they are having it's a highlight of one of our member, 331 owned vessel by CMA with the 566 vessel in operations. So basically they are three of the biggest container company in in all over the world, where basically all the vessel, the new build, basically they are fully fueled by LNG. And if you see here the roadmap of how they are expanding tremendously from 23 until 28, we can see together that they are having 91 new built vessels. And then that's a new built one. And then even now, I think every 3 months they are having a second-hand vessel to be added into the fleet. So we can see that how massive of this company are really growing. If you see also in this year, they are adding a 16th new built vessel, all with fueled by LNG. And then also, as I mentioned to you, every 3 months they are adding new second-hand vessels. So in a total of 91 in only period of 5 years. And then this is, I believe, this is the most interesting part for all the students and also the seafaring maritime sector in Indonesia. If you can see the growth of the pool now, so at the end or in the beginning of 23, they are having a 10,000 pool. And then if you see at this stage, basically we are here in the 25 mid of 25. So it means that the pool is now up to the 13,000 level of the seafarers in all over the world with all the nationalities, so to speak. And then they are still targeting to achieve up to 16,000 of the seafarers with all this growth up to the end of 26. And then this is also with the 96 additional ships to be managed internally by CMA, including 56 new building and 40 existing ships. And then as of today, basically only 41 ships will exceed 20 years old by January 26. So it's relatively a very new vessels. And then again, it's a good opportunity for all the seafaring sectors to grow with CMA. Again, CMA is one of our member in INSA, and then at this stage they are having total of around 750 crew on board from Indonesia. And then if you see how ambitious they would like to achieve minimum of 2,000 seafarers from Indonesia. 2,000. And now we are having 650, so it means that we are still lack of 1,300 seafarers from Indonesia. And then again, with this huge opportunity, I believe that it can answer the questions whether there is an opportunity for the young seafarers from Sorong or even from Indonesia to have a career in the maritime industry. And then you can see this is become the main challenge basically for the crewing departments. The main challenge for them is basically the opportunity for us. And then, but the question is, are we ready for that? Are we ready for the new technology of the fuels LNG ships? And then basically the key figure is 4,452 crew members needed to man 60 ships by the end of 25. So we need massive number of seafarers. And then again, around 1,000 is crew members to operate the 33 LNG ships. And then again, I believe that as mentioned by Captain Wisnu at earlier stage, with the alternative of the fuel, so it also demand a new training basically needed for our seafarers. And then again, it is to anticipate the training needs for the LNG specifications. And then if we can see here the overview of the shipping market itself. So basically, only 2% of the global carbon emissions, the shipping industry carbon emissions accounted for. And then also, one-third of the new buildings will be considered to equip with the dual fuel engines. So some of them dual fuel, and some of them they are also fully equipped by engine with the purpose to align with the IMO's 25 goals. And then basically from the Beam Course report, the demand in 26 for officers is around 94700, and for the rating is around 1 million. And then at this stage, basically Indonesia, we are one of the three biggest country to supply, apart from Philippines and also India. So basically the opportunity, again, I keep repeating myself about the opportunity is there. If we can see also from the number of ships in operations, 98.8% conventional fuel, and then ships on orders, they are having 78.9 conventional fuel, where basically if you see 564 are LNG, 400 with the hybrid, LPG, methanol, and also hydrogen. And then in terms of the growth of the tonnage in the operations, we are having a total of 5.5%. 5.3% are LNG, battery hybrid 0.06, LPG 0.06, and then methanol 0.02%. And then if you can see also the ships on order as well, we can also that's much more on LNG side, around 30.2%, and then followed by LPG, methanol, and also hybrid. And from the world commercial fleet is 105.500 vessels in 23 and 70 million increase in 2023. So again, if we come back and what is the challenge of the HR Marine departments? The first is to embrace situations among the many companies or the HR Marines, and then also to attract and retaining seafarers in terms of the gender and also diversity, and then mental health and also well-being. It's also one of the hot topic that we need to mitigate in the current situations. And then last but not least is also the relevant training for the future technology. And if you can see here how different people react to a single word of deficiency. So if you see from the left side, from the process control, we see the inspections requirement exceed minimum requirements. And then from the industry side, the crew manning, budget versus quality is a high cost effectiveness. That is also one of the dilemma situations, I will say challenge. And then from the ship owners or manager perspective, it's about the quality first, budget second, and then the process control and also right ships. And how to embrace the situation faced by the manning agency in general. It's about the coverage rate of the CBA signed the ship owners, and then who can afford the training expenses of the seafarers. It is also one of the topic, because if we are talking about training, so we cannot afford ourselves to also talk about the budget itself. And then also the requirements gap between the flag stat or process control and the STCW on the training itself. And then if you can see here the statistic of the pre-joining safety training, which is basically the database taken from 19 until 23, with nearly 20,000 embarkation of junior officers and also a rating. If we can see here, the number of the trainings in the dark blue is 85%. Coverage with the all total of 4,000 around the number of the embarkations. So it means that the number of trainings from year to year is getting in line with the number of the embarkations. But still, there is a gap that we need to work on. And then if we can see on the other side, on the right side, in the light blue is the percentage of the injured trained, and then on the dark side is basically the percentage of injuries untrained. And then so we can agree together that the number of the percentage of the injuries untrained is higher compared with the someone who had been trained. So by the fact, so it can be proven that someone or the seafarers who have been trained, they are having more barriers in order to avoid the or to reduce the number of the injuries happen on board. The accident rate for the seafarers without training was 2.32 times higher. Again, 2.32 times higher than those who had been trained in the year of 2023. And then also the Maritime Traffic Safety Law of PRC has come into force on 1st September 2021. It is also aligned with the demand of the ship owner side to encourage the people to do more training compared with before. And then we can also see here together what is basically happened on the maritime industry. The 14,000 TEUs container knocked down 3 cranes at the Turkish port, and then also 6,000 and then 600 TEUs container hit Francis Scott in the Key Bridge in the Baltimore. So the number of accidents is getting high, and then the reasons behind that. The first thing is because of the cutthroat competitions on the lower budget, but not better qualifications. So again, it is we are talking about budget and also implementation of the training. And then also the training gaps to the seafarers are larger and larger. And then also the ambiguous career progressions are killing seafarers' interests. So basically, that's kind of the dilemmatic situations on the industry side between the lowest budget and then also the training that we emphasize to all the seafarers, and then also the expectations for the safety on board the ship itself. And then now we come into the question is how we can attract and also retaining seafarers. I believe that in Indonesia, the motivations of the young generation to become seafarers, it's still high on the high side. But if we can see on the other country like Japan and also Korea, the number is quite worrying, because not every young people, they are intent or they are willing to become seafarers. And then it is, if you see on the percentage, it is because of the first is the competitive salary and also welfare is contributed around 59%, because basically in Japan and also in Korea, in some other country, you know, the salary of the people working ashore is now relatively same with the people working on board the ships. And also 37% is contributed from the clear color procreations, both at sea and also on shore. And then 28% is being contributed by the well-being and also family care working condition on board. And then also the newer and more advanced system to work with on board. So if you're talking about the AI automations, we are talking about MAS, the Maritime Autonomous Surface Ships. So basically, if you're talking about automations, is reshaping the ships. And then AI itself is navigating the decisions. So basically, are our seafarers ready in doing that? So basically, that's the question that we need to answer together. Also, I also quoted the word from our Secretary BPSDM, Captain Wisnu, that the mental health and also well-being is also some of the things that we need to pay more attention on that. Basically, after the COVID situations, people get more into the homesick, and then also the war happened now in Russia and Ukraine. And also the work-related pressures increase by the minimum manning level on board. So the number of people is getting less and less because again, it's also led to the budget side, and also the work-related pressures caused by a lack of ability to master new technology. And then also the pressures caused by the third-party inspections. So that's also create our bodies to stress. And then that's basically, we need to have a regular on and offshore psychological training to our senior officers. So to provide seafarers with incentive welfare, to support seafarers with a career pathway, and then to have a good internet on board. That is also very important to maintain the communications. Investing in skills and delivering fair training, and then also timely on leave, and also SORBES support is also very important to ensure that the mental health and well-being of the seafarers are being taken care.
I'm sorry, Captain Angga, we have 1 more minute to conclude the presentation. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the relevant training for the future technology, training is a golden key to open the digital era. So basically the new technology impact the future skill requirement of the seafarers. The IMO's international convention on the SSW will not be sufficient for the future seafarers, so we need to really evolve ourselves. The simulation training is a good way to improve the consistency of the training. And then also the new development in view, automations, and digitalizations are required in the various industry. So if you can see the relevant training for the future technology, the DNV survey display that 52% seafarers preferred in-person training at the maritime training seafarers. So a training center with the good diversity assessment tools. And also the 70% of respondents mentioned simulation training method help with their skills developments. And then basically the simulator replicate real-life conditions on equipment on ships, allowing them to learn difficult and impossible skills to replicate in real life. So if we can conclude here, basically, the ship owner or managers and maritime school are a joint community. So basically, that's how we create the future-ready seafarers for our young generations. The ship owners are responsible for considering the training budget and qualified training supplier. The maritime school, Poltekpel Sorong, focus on the crew training and also qualifications, better wage and safe working condition on board, the attention to the seafarers' mental health and also well-being. And then last but not least is basically the consistent training to retain the seafarers stay updated with the latest technology. So in order to close my presentations and also to celebrate the 18th anniversary of Poltekpel Sorong, so we would like to give a very special quote in this. So basically, Indonesia as a home to one of the world's largest seafaring populations has a vital role in shaping the future of the global maritime. Our seafarers carry not just skill, but spirit, resilience, and a deep-rooted heritage of the sea. By investing in education, training, and global collaborations, we are not only preparing our seafarers for the world, but we are preparing the world for the Indonesian seafarers. To every seafarers across our archipelago, the world is watching, the future is calling, and let us rise together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. One more time, give a round of applause for Captain Angga. Thank you so much for the amazing presentation. One thing that I just catch from your presentation is actually we have the massive opportunity because there are so many still gap, the number of the seafarers that needed in a real life. So therefore, I think Indonesia as the biggest archipelago country can contribute more on providing the seafarer that global needs right now. And in order to achieve that, that's need collaboration between stakeholders, especially from the ship owner, the maritime school as well, and the seafarer as well, in order to face the challenge and the trend in globalization especially. So thank you so much again, Captain Angga, for amazing presentation. I want to continue with the discussion. First, I want to give the opportunity for the question coming from the offline participant from the studio. Is there any question from the offline participant? Yeah, I see someone raising hand. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Afternoon. I am John Graha from Sorong. I want to ask Captain Angga about what strategy that have been implemented in running the existing program between government and the stakeholder. Maybe any strategy have already implemented before about this program.
Okay, can you repeat? Did Captain Angga catch the question, or should you repeat one more time, please?
What are the strategies that have been implemented in running the existing program between stakeholder and government, maybe something like that.
Okay. So basically, if I'm not wrong, what is the strategy, in order regarding collaboration between the stakeholder? Go ahead.
Yeah,
Captain Angga.
thank you so much for the questions. Basically, what we are doing now, so we are work very close with Captain Wisnu. I believe that on last year's from the government is just implementing new regulations about the minimum standard of the English training proficiency score. Where basically we are also doing that. Thanks for that, because basically we do realize that yeah, communication skill is very important for our seafarers, and then basically we don't want the old story happen again. They are mentioning that Indonesia, one of the lack point is English communication skill, and then I do believe that at this stage, especially the young generations, there should be no any challenge anymore issue about English. So that's the first thing basically. So what is basically being implemented by the Human Resources Transportations Agency. So we try to pop up, and then we try to work together fairly close with them. The second part is basically we are also now in touch with IMEC, the International Maritime Agency Council, where basically they are also having a various number of the member ship owner, ship manager, or even the crew management company in all over the world. And then now basically they are investigating Indonesia as one of the new market to be explored. And then we are working very close with them, and then also plus that also in line also with the government, that we try to find a way how we can try to close or to minimize the gap in between the productions and also the demand from the industry. And then last but not least, that we are also emphasizing a program basically in one of our member that facilitating the teacher from the school to have on board experience, so they could gain the more updated technology and also situation on board, because basically it is very important to minimize the gap itself, as I mentioned earlier. So by having the lecture or the trainer from the maritime school, let's say from Sorong, to have the onboard experience with our member vessels, that is also one of the strategy in order to reduce the gap between the intake and also the output from the industry itself.
Okay, thank you so much, Captain Angga. Mostly is actually try to increase the readiness, the total people or the young generation who's ready to work globally by improving their English for sure, and also their other soft skill capability. And in order to achieve that, they need to have the collaboration with the other stakeholder, especially from Sorong, probably, maybe ask them. So we also have there's one of participant online that already raised your hand from Prodi Studi Nautica. Yeah, if you have any question, please open your cam and also give the question as well from Prodi Studi Nautica. Okay, but I'm not even sure that. Okay, whilst having that, is there any other question probably from the offline participant?
Hi, Mr. Imron.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. We have one familiar faces. From Prodi Studi Nautica. If I'm not mistaken, he's the leader. Yeah, he's the leader of Prodi Studi Nautica. Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Imron. Long time no see.
Long time no see, indeed.
Yeah. Sorry. For Mr. Angga, I have several questions related the gap exactly of Indonesian seafarer also and the world in international seafarer. The first question is it still relevant for some subject for course for deck officer such as astronomy, seamanship, and etc. subject like when we talk about the future that we always discuss about the AI, blockchain, and etc. And the second question, how can Indonesian maritime training better align their curriculum with the international requirement to reduce the competency of gap seafarer itself. Thank you. I think that's it, Mr. Imran.
Yeah, don't leave hanging there. I want you to listen, and probably you have a response coming from Pangga, yeah? Go ahead, Pangga.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much for the questions. The first question, so basically, yes, it is still in line because basically on board the ships, we all do aware that we need to be prepared for all the worst case scenario. So basically, when you are having a blackout, so it means that you cannot use your digital or anything. So you have to come back again with the old style to use your nautical almanac to find the terrestrial navigation. So I will say yes, it is still compulsory and also mandatory. And then because also when you are on board for the very first times, it is also very important to try to use your your manual skill to calculate your zero error and everything using your nautical almanac, very manual. And then after you master that, let's say after 2-3 months, and you can be master on that, so you can try to use your all the programs that are now being available and also ready to be used on board the ships. So yes, the answer is still applicable. And then also the second questions, I also believe that the first questions are also related in order how we can reduce the gap. The gap will always be there, that is for sure, because if there is no gap, it means that there is no room for improvement. So we need to believe on that there still always be a gap. So it means that we are also being encouraged, all stakeholders, ship owner, maritime sectors, the school itself, the government body, in order how we can try to learn and also try to improve ourselves. But the three that I mentioned to you earlier, that is very important, that we can try to mitigate it together by having working it together. So basically, we from the industry, we try to facilitate it the school by having this on-board experience for all the lectures. And then also from the school itself, I also do believe that nowadays there are many maritime school in Asia try to get its international certifications, where basically it's also in line to know what is the market outside doing, and then how we can evolve ourselves to be better and better as a maritime stakeholders. And then I do believe if we can do it together, we can try to always reduce the gap between the intake and also the output in the maritime industry.
All right, I think it's pretty clear, loud and clear answer. Is there any response?
Yes, Mr. Imran, everything is clear. Yeah, I think that we wait for the future discuss about our curriculum development, because I think we need more improvement with our curriculum that what's the seafarer needs in the future. Thank you, Mr. Philemon. Thank you, Mr. Angga.
And also to add on that as well, like the second speaker Bob mentioned, that basically we are still on the zero in terms of the AI or also automations. If we are talking on the first presentations from me about the CMS CGM of our member, they are a huge company, a huge ship. And then basically they are having a huge investment that they bring the cargo from one to other port. And then they basically, I asked myself to them, are you ready for this AI? And said that I don't want to put my, a million or even billion investments on board the ships to a technology. So basically, it's also answering the question is basically, we will be there at some point, but not not for tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So basically, we can be prepared, but at least that for now is we need to ensure that the basic thing, like I mentioned about the maritime English, and then also the seafarers who are ready mentally, not only hard skill but also soft skill. This is also very important that we need to also focus on that as well, because if we're talking about soft skill, leaderships is very important. Because for now that okay, we are being well known by as a country to supply an entry level position for example, in the cruise company. But why not we are not providing a captain for the cruise ships? Why it's only people from, let's say, from Philippines or even from Italy? We should be able to do it as well, right? So that's basically about leaderships. So basically, what you are doing now from the maritime school is already more or less in line. Again, we cannot say it's in line already. So you can say there is no any improvement anymore. It's more or less in line. So now basically we need to focus on how we can develop the soft skills of our peoples, and then at the same time as well that follow the technology and try to pop up with them in the future.
All right. Thank you so much. I think that's a really, really clear answer. Yeah. Especially for the Sorong, I think it's not only answering, but also it motivate the school organization because they aim to improve the curriculum to make sure that the seafarer coming from Indonesia is not only becoming like the basic or the normal, but probably you have to aim even more. For example, like captain in a cruise or something like that, that it's actually like more mandatory. So I think it's pretty clear. I want to invite one more time from the offline participant. I think this is going to be the last question. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the time, Mr. Indra. Professor Mr. Angga. Professor, my name is Adam Ifandi. I'm one of the lecturer from Poltekpel Sorong. What I would like to ask is about outside from the language problem that you said before. Is there any special skills that cadets of Poltekpel Sorong or maybe myself that have to train or improve because we would like to compete to the other sailor from the other nation. For the example, like for me, I was being lectured for about 3 years, so I miss sailing around the world. But sometimes I really confess and what is it? Worried about my skills. Is it enough or maybe under what company want? Can you tell me outside the language skill about what skill that we have to learn about hard skill or maybe soft skill for me and for cadet of Poltekpel Sorong? Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for the question. So practically, is there any like special skill that they need to have in order to meet the requirement coming from the industry? I think that's what I can conclude. Go ahead, Mr. Angga.
So yeah, thank you very much for the amazing questions. Basically, that it is very important to emphasize and also to be honest with the current situations. So basically, as I mentioned, that the curriculum that had been delivered by the maritime school at this stage is basically more or less in line with the expectation from the maritime industry. Apart from the communication skill, that basically we expect also that the generation Z like now should not have any challenge in English anymore, because you already have all the platform, all the technology for you to be able to learn your English, because English is the matter of the practicing. Okay, with all respect with the grammar and everything, but English is the matter of practicing. If you keep practicing your English, so trust me that you should be able to speak English, because people on board, they are really appreciated people who are there to speak, even with the very wrong vocab, very wrong grammar. But if you dare to speak, they really appreciated you, because basically, again, English is not our language. So if you are making a mistake in using your bahasa, so you must be ashamed on that. But if you are making a mistake in doing your English, it should not be a problem at all. Just be there. Just be take your courage to speak with all the other people on board the ships. And then if you are talking about the international market at this stage, basically that what we are basically missing is the soft skill itself. So the mainly of the soft skill, where basically the Eastern culture, we are intent try to avoid the conflict. So basically, we are not really straight to the point, but the people outside, let's say in European country, American country, they are really straight to the point. So basically, sometimes when people are really smart at the school, let's say people are very smart in Poltekpel Sorong, but when he is on board with the multicultural, if let's say if the confidence is not there, so basically they are not able to explain or to elaborate what people asking. So basically, it's also one of the point that we need to improve for our young generations. That basically the concept of DEI is there now in the maritime industry: diversity, equity, and also inclusivity. So basically, we are being treated the same. So there is no any difference between, let's say, white or with the colorful skins. Basically, there is no any more like that in the maritime industry. So we need to open our eyes. We need to brave. We need to take our courage. We need to be confident. I believe that if we are confident enough, so we can show to the world that we are having the same quality with the other of our competitors. Because basically Myanmar is chasing us now, Cambodia, Philippines is our competitions. But I do believe if we are able to cop that lack of from the soft skill in terms of the leaderships and also the confidence levels, I believe that we should be able to be in line with the with our other competitors. So that's my I think that's how I can answer your questions. So the new curriculums where basically it should always be there, and then and our last discussions in the ASEAN Ship Owner Association's annual general meeting. Last time we are talking about the new amendment of the STCW, where basically in the January 1st, 26, the new curriculum of the mental health and also harassment, also bullying, will be included in the curriculum of the basic safety training as per January 1st, 2026, with the addition of 2 or 4 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, the adaptations will be there always. But now the question is, are we ready to have that, and then are we also ready to motivate ourselves to and also to challenge ourselves when we are on board the ship with the different cultures? So basically, that's the question that we need to ask together and to answer together.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. I think what I'm trying to sum up is actually the curriculum is must be aligned. It's already aligned, but one thing that we have to prepare is actually just being ourselves and improve the communication skill and be confident. Because one thing that I learned is being Indonesia when they are talking with a foreigner, they just kind of like think that they are think less of them. We are not. We are not less of them. We are equal, but in fact we are more capable than them, probably some of them, because I also have a friend that is studying in overseas, and among all of the peers, he's actually the best student in that university, and he's Indonesian. So I think we have to be more like not like you just show your chats, meaning that be confident and show your capability. And one thing that I like from the Sorong University, yeah, every single year they always have international webinar. This is actually the second year that I follow up. But so one thing that I get from this is actually the English concern that Captain Anga just keep mentioning over and over again. Sorong already aware of this, and they will do anything in order to make sure that the student who graduate from their university is ready to work, and then especially when it comes to the communication skill and also their English. And I think it shows from the way they ask the question, from the way they give a review from the speaker. So one more, 2 thumbs up for the lecture up there. Thank you so much. And then this is actually good opportunity for them as well to learn from the amazing speaker. I think that's all. We already discussed like more than 2 hours. And to talk about so many things coming from the Ministry of Transportation perspective, coming from the global perspective, and right now from the practical perspective, that what is actually on how to improve the human capital in a maritime aspect. And I think I would like to say again, thank you so much, Mr. Angga. Last question for you coming from me. How to be the founder of the international mining company? Short answer, please go ahead. How what can you share from us, and how to be exactly at least like you, like as cool as you are? Go ahead, Mr. Anga.
You need to be a trustworthy persons, and then you also need to keep learning, and then to raise your competence, and also be confident.
See, confident is the key, I guess. Oh my God. So I hope we can learn a lot from it. I do learn a lot. So again, I'm so sorry that the one that is actually end this conversation is just time, because we're already running off the time, and right now in the Sorong, I think it's almost evening time. So before we close the third section, again, me as the moderator, the representative from the Sorong Merchant Marine Polytechnic, would like to appreciate and thank you so much for Mr. Captain Anga for being the amazing speaker. And then as the token of appreciation, we are pleased to present the certificate for our third speaker. We would like to taking picture probably with the certificate ahead. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Mr. Anga from INSA, do you have any specific post to teach us how to take a picture?
No, we can use loud.
Oh, okay, we can say loud, yeah. Okay, let's take a picture. I think 1, 2, 3. Okay, there you go. Thank you so much, Mr. Anga,
Thank you so
again
much.
for the amazing presentation. And with the end of the last session, which is the third session of the seminar, my job is already done. Me as the moderator, I would also like to say thank you so much for choosing me as being the moderator. And I also would like to apologize if I made a mistake throughout the section. Thank you so much. And next, I will give to Mr. Hasanuddin as the master of ceremony. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Imran. Thank you for all the speakers, yeah, remarkable speakers that we have today. So what an amazing discussions. I do believe that we got a lot of information, a lot of experience starting from stakeholders' views to academic views. So before end these sessions, yeah, I would like to invite all of you, including all the speakers also, to open the camera. We are going to having a documentation together. Unfortunately, two of our speakers already leave the Zoom meeting. It's okay, that's fine. Okay, for the committee, can you help for the documentations? 1, 2, 3. What's the symbol? Symbol like this. Okay.
Yeah, that's L. Yeah, from love.
That's L. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Imran. Thank you, Captain Anga also. So that's the end of our session. So ladies and gentlemen, we have reached to the end of our webinar. I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to all the speakers, participants, and organizers for making this event a success. We hope that the insights shared today will contribute significantly or strengthening our shared commitment to advancing maritime education, technology, and human resource development in the digital era, specifically in our beloved country, Indonesia. Thank you once again for your participation. Have a great day and stay safe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you at our next event.
Thank you. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much.